evening and welcome to the Diamond Newsdesk at 8, where we bring you the latest from stories featured on DiamondTVZambia.com. You can also follow us on Diamond TV online, on Facebook and on X at Diamond TV Zambia. Up next, the headlines. Dozens are left homeless as houses are demolished in Lusaka's Zesco Kalundu area. Calls grow for government intervention. Public health crackdown forces closure of 3 guest houses in Chinsali as expo preparations intensify. And Livingstone Council under fire. Local Government Service Commission slums deplorable state of Malala Health Post. Join me for these stories and more in detail shortly.
This is the Diamond Newsdesk at 8 with Mutinta Chiseko.
And other news in detail. Several residents of Lusaka's Zesco Kalundu area have been left homeless after their houses were demolished by some unknown individuals. A visit to the area by Diamond News found some houses partially demolished, while others had visible cracks and structural damage. In an interview, one of the affected residents, Gift Musonda, said he was preparing to move into his 2-roomed house, but woke up on Saturday, June 28, 2025, to find it demolished. When contacted for a comment, Chilanga Member of Parliament Sifo Helazo said he was not aware of the demolitions and promised to investigate the matter further.
Of homes in Lusaka's Zesco Kalundu area has left families devastated, with some now left without shelter. For the affected residents, the impact is more than just the loss of property. The demolitions have disrupted lives and pushed families into uncertainty. Gift Musonda, one of the homeowners, says he was just days away from moving into his house, a home he spent 2 years building, but woke up to the shocking news that his house has been reduced to rubble.
3 years mkushtaranja hapa. So la sasa talandi kusama ngapaganda na pusha febu no chinkukire kukire wati dende pa chinkisen kukire mukusanga senganda na bapwanyi. Pa bantu ni shikweta pa kuikala. Ishi family kwa family ingi shikweta pa kuikala. Ine yariwe yena nalipenya musango abana na ine ntashani njikali hapa. Nombe bantu bera shakwa nshogora songere nganda.
The demolitions, allegedly carried out by unknown individuals reportedly from the office of the president, have sparked fear and confusion amongst community members who are calling on government to intervene and put an end to what they describe as unlawful and unannounced demolitions.
Abo Friday banabwera na opwanya benzeli bena na leta yobalangiza ati bangabwera chita demolish ma buildings. Bapwanya ma offense, there's one room somewhere like this one. Bentitianga neko naise kuno. Naise ndise bantu. Kuti babwere batipwanyire tilibepo kata azikwatine pano. Ndine mukazi, ndine mwamuna pano osunga bana. Bakaboni pwanyira nyumba. Nizakapeleka kuti bana. So tipempa cheku government kuti tianga neko.
Wachabe mzuwa kuna bwela Land Cruiser, banabwela ba OP. Kubwelo pwanya manyumba banabwera na mamfuti benzo cha threatening wana abantu, then banafika chabe bamba chabe kupwanya, then benango bakwira pa mtenge ukatenga phone uko pa benze kulesa benze kumenya bakapeza chemwa muna ule hospitali cheweka benzo menya, ndio vutamenti nayo kuna vini bana banasoba chifuka cha mamfuti bana bonse banayopa na warning swati pasako vini maleta ati muchokemo babwa chabe kupwanya chabe without warning.
Cherish Sibode for Diamond News.
Now, the Chinsali Municipal Council has temporarily closed 3 lodges for failing to meet public health standards following intensified inspections. Nachula Guest House, Mupanta Guest House and DC Guest House were shut down after being found non-compliant on key issues, including lacking valid medical examination certificates for food handlers and posing sanitation hazards. Acting Public Relations Manager Lola Mukoko said the council is stepping up enforcement ahead of the Muchinga 2025 Expo scheduled for September. He added that the Public Health Department will work with the hospitality industry to improve standards. As preparations for the Muchinga 2025 Expo scheduled for this September intensify, the hospitality industry plays a critical role in providing lodging facilities. This is why the Public Health Department of the Chinsali Municipal Council has been conducting inspections in the facilities within the district. During the inspections, 3 lodges were found to have violated Public Health Act Cap 295, Food and Safety Act No. 7 of 2019, and Local Government Act No. 2 of 2019. They were found to be non-compliant on a number of key issues.
I wish to confirm that during our recent public health inspections, 3 establishments, that is Mupanta Lodge, DC Guest House, and Nachula Guest House, were found to have serious health and safety violations. These included lack of valid medical certificates for food handlers, poor sanitation, inadequate mosquito control measures, and structural issues, among others.
The lodges are expected to be proactive in meeting all set public health requirements, especially that they will be servicing a huge number of people that will attend the expo.
We have issued closure notices and temporarily closed these facilities with clear directives for corrective action. We are working closely with the affected premises to ensure they make the necessary improvements quickly so they can reopen in good time.
Cecilia Kayamproko, Diamond News, Chinsali, Muchinga Province. Now, the Local Government Service Commission has expressed disappointment over the poor state of infrastructure at Malala Health Post in Livingstone District, Southern Province. Commission Vice Chairperson Brian Ndumba raised concerns about the Council's lack of urgency in addressing the health post deteriorating condition, which he described as unsafe for use due to severe dilapidation. Mr. Ndumba questioned the Council's decision to construct a maternity annex without first establishing a proper main health facility, calling for the annex to be demolished. He further instructed the council's engineers to install flushable toilets, noting that the existing pit latrines pose serious health risks to over 5,000 community members they were meant to serve.
Malala community in Livingstone District, Southern Zambia, has experienced growth over time, bringing development to the area. One notable improvement is the construction of a maternity annex at the local health facility, which was funded with approximately 800,000 kwacha from the Constituency Development Fund. This project also included the installation of a water reticulation system.
It's where we'll be admitting mothers as they come when they are pregnant and they are still in the early stage of labor. So we write them, we book them, there will be furniture here and a bed somewhere here where they'll be sitting on the bench, and then after booking them, we take them to the other rooms.
While the community, particularly expectant mothers, appreciates the new maternity annex, the health facility itself is in poor condition. Local Government Service Commission Vice Chairperson Brian Ndumba is advocating for its immediate demolition to make way for a more adequate facility, given the growth of the population in the area.
Even us that are managing the city, when we come here and we look at a facility like this, before we even built that wing, the maternity wing, we should have pulled down this thing and put a proper clinic here. That's why CDF has come, to help the people. So you cannot come to a clinic that has galleries and call it the health facility. No, because before people go to the wing there at Tamba, they are first received here.
Timothy Mambalakata is Livingstone Town Clerk.
We are assuring you we mobilize the community so that they push in the application Then next year we do the implementation. I think by fourth quarter next year we should be done. We should have a new structure here.
The Local Government Service Commission has also expressed disappointment, noting that although the maternity annex has modern toilet facilities, the health post continues to rely on pit latrines.
Engineer, why should we have pit latrines in the city? This time around, we have pit latrines in the city. So is there a way we can connect those toilets to flush?
Yes.
Gabriel Josas Mova, Diamond News, Southern Zambia.
An elderly woman from Lusaka's Chaisa compound, Esther Kangwa, has been taken in by a relative in Mutendere following a long-standing domestic dispute with her daughter-in-law, Viola Banda. The development comes after Miss Banda's husband, John Mwinka, Miss Kangwa's son, reportedly gave up caring for his mother due to ongoing tension between the two women. According to Miss Banda, a cousin to her mother-in-law stepped in to accommodate Miss Kangwa after the matter was highlighted by Diamond TV. Despite the arrangement for her mother-in-law, Miss Banda has expressed deep frustration with her husband, accusing him of neglect, absenteeism, and failing to provide for the family.
An elderly woman from Chaisa compound has found refuge with a relative in Mtendere after a bitter family dispute forced her out of her son's home. Esther Kangwa was taken in by a cousin following a fallout between her and her daughter-in-law, Viola Banda, a conflict that had reportedly strained the household for some time. The situation escalated when Miss Kangwa's son, John Mwing, opted to relinquish care of his mother, prompting intervention after the matter was aired by Diamond TV. Her daughter-in-law, Viola Banda, narrates the events following that ordeal.
So after vatenga tabwata sala ese mamene tinasalira watate wao vavana ndiye mamene vanaendera futi vachitapane wakumbukira vabwera vasonjerera kusochabe but nikatuma foni nimafunsa magona kuti vamani ngati ni kunshito but vabosi wao vamakamba ati aisari kunshito.
Yes, I can confirm. My mother-in-law was taken in by her cousin, Miss Maureen. She lives in Tendere, and it's been a couple of weeks now. Following what transpired, after the exchange of words, the altercations, eventually someone came through. But above everything else, the intention was not for me to kick away my mother-in-law. It was for me and my husband to find an amicable way of resolving our issues, which for me, I feel overburdened and financially distressed looking after our children, and on top of that, adding my mother-in-law, to which it was very heavy and a huge responsibility to leave everything to me. Because my husband sometimes is not at home, most of the time. I have to beg for him to send money for food, even rent. We didn't pay rent last month, and this month I don't even know what we're going to do. So I often have to chase after him. I go to his workplace, explain to his boss what is happening, but still he remains unconcerned. It's really heartbreaking what's happening to my family. I don't know, maybe he'll change, but I doubt. But I really hope he will change someday.
So ineniembekeza ati wakomboka inafika kama 21 hours nonuza ati nenigona kuno kumakeni. So ndiye mamene vanagonera na foni vanazimia soche mpaka na nalero foni yozima socha.
Despite the elderly lady's relocation, Miss Banda remains disheartened, accusing her husband of continued neglect, emotional absence, and failure to support the family.
Ungasowe na voka amba mwandi. Mamene tenzo nkalira mbyake junior wali pano. Na mamene tinkalira manje sivina siyani. Ndava vajamone vanachoka vabwera vavatenga but still mukutakumbukire kunyumba sakumbuka.
Because everything has been on me, you know. Sometimes the kids are sick, we need food. It's a lot for me to cope and handle by myself. And like right now, he's been away for the past 3 or 4 days. I can't reach him. He even switches off his phone. It gets to that. things have not improved or changed. They've remained the same. Yes, my mother-in-law is gone, but we still have problems in this house.
So especially naiona manga ine izanivuta kuti nichinje paineneka nda mwamene vapita vevi sinizivamo ine ninkala nili pano pa nyumba.
The case first drew public attention on June 11th when concerned neighbors raised the alarm of the domestic unrest. Elfimwale Shampande, Diamond News.
Thank you so much for staying with us. And now the rest of the news. A section of the main road in Lusaka's Garden House compound has become impassable due to rampant illegal waste disposal by residents. Piles of garbage have narrowed the roadway, making it difficult for vehicles and pedestrians to pass. The worsening situation has raised health and safety concerns, with residents calling on authorities to take action against individuals who are turning the road into a dumping ground. Some residents have demanded that culprits be identified and prosecuted to deter others from engaging in the illegal practice. Garden Park Ward Councillor Gerald Samboko has yet to respond to the complaints, even as the blocked road continues to affect daily movement and sanitation in the area.
This heap of garbage you're looking at is not in Chunga dumping site. It is in Garden House. This is a daily occurrence here in Garden House that residents of this area, some of them off camera, they have admitted of dumping their garbage on this site. And God knows during rainy season what transpires here. Often we've reported about outbreaks of several diseases in this country, particularly in Lusaka. And this is as a result of such behavior. And just adjacent to this dumping site are houses. People often cook outside, and they were just explaining to me how the stench coming out of this dumping site is unbearable. But I'll get to speak to some of the residents that live here that are every day inundated with this stench. It's really not right what's happening in our community. We are turning our own community into a dumping site. When there's an outbreak of diseases, we are the first ones to be affected. People that dump garbage here, I don't know what they think. We hope authorities, the council, can come in and even arrest people that are doing this, or sometimes even amongst ourselves. Despite mounting pressure from the community, local authorities are yet to respond, leaving many to fear that inaction could worsen the sanitation crisis and put lives at risk. Elfimwale Shampande, Diamond News.
Now, Mufulira Municipal Council has announced that it is open to public feedback and criticism regarding the utilization of the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. Mufulira Mayor Tanayeli Kamanga has emphasized this stance after a stakeholder engagement meeting in the district, stating that effective CDF utilization hinges on collaboration between the council management and community beneficiaries rather than the council working in isolation. Mr. Kamanga believes that regular engagement meetings are crucial to allow community members and other stakeholders to actively participate and share their views on how CDF can be best used in their respective areas.
The UPND government has scored on the implementation of the decentralization policy by increasing the Constituency Development Fund (CDF) from 1.6 kwacha to over 36 million kwacha. The increment of the funds is intended to ensure that every community in the country, Zambia, has its share from the national development. However, the utilization of the funds has not been an easy job for the local authorities. In Mufrea district, the local authority is still determined to make use of the funds and has therefore continued to engage various stakeholders on how best CDF funds can be utilized. Today, an engagement meeting was held to discuss matters regarding the utilization of CDF in Mufrea district.
We are also talking about the issue to do with the trying to partner with the community so that we take development to the community. For us, I think with the proper monitoring, checks and balances that are coming from the outside world on the municipality, I think it will make us a drive.
The meeting was organized by Oxfam with support from other stakeholders such as the Zambia Council for Social Development funded by the European Union.
This takes a bigger chunk of the national budget, and we also have to make sure that people are in tune with what is happening with this resource, and hence the organizing of this public forum, should I say the interaction with the local authority, the key stakeholders on the ground.
The participants are happy to be given an opportunity to share their views over the utilization of the funds.
So with the way maybe the meeting it has been so fruitful because it has been an eye-opener, indeed even to the people who are in charge of administering the funds and even those people who are recipients of the funds.
Rogan Labikan, Damo News, Copperbelt Province.
Now, with only days remaining in the nationwide mobile NRC registration exercise, Chinsali residents have paused other activities to secure or replace their national registration cards NRCs. At Chibesa Primary School, where officers are stationed, 16-year-old Amos Chimfwembe said he wanted his NRC to qualify for a voter's card and participate in future elections. Others, like Regina Walia, explained that losing an NRC had excluded them from accessing social protection programs. The mobile registration exercise, which began in April, will conclude on July 10, 2025.
With only a few days remaining before the nationwide mobile national registration card NRC registration officially comes to a close, eligible candidates are being advised to take advantage and register. In Chibesa village of Chinsali, both the young and old have turned up to acquire NRCs. They have noted that despite this being a critical time in agriculture production, they have sacrificed it in order to acquire this important document. I came here so that I can get an NRC. We had to leave whatever we were doing when we heard that mobile registration of NRC is being conducted here at Chibesa Primary School. I think acquiring an NRC and a voter's card is very important because it makes me eligible to vote and also to participate in many other national programs. Government has been emphasizing on the need for every Zambian eligible to acquire an NRC to have one. That is why when we heard that there is a mobile registration happening here, we had to leave whatever we were doing to come and register. Both the civic and traditional leadership spoke on the importance of acquiring the document, further urging residents to register as voters.
Nga taukwetera jinishi tauri muina Zambia kuti chasareta na problemu.
As a civic leader, I am happy that the mobile registration is being conducted right here in my village. And so far, a number of people have turned up to register.
Kulaba programu ilia iyo tuitati social cash transfer.
Chakopa maleji na voters card. Kuna tuliaba chipokerera kuno sana ngabeka shiba kuno myezi kwa Chibesa.
As village leadership, I'm urging all residents of Chibesa come and register as voters before the program comes to an end.
The
mobile issuance of NRCs, which started on April 10th, 2025, comes to an end on July 10th, 2025. Cecilia Kayam, Prokoso, Diamond News, Chinsali, Mchinga Province.
This is the Diamond News Desk at 8. Let's take another break. I'll be back shortly with more news. Don't go away. Thank you for staying with us. Now, schoolgirls at Makunka Primary School and secondary schools in Kazungula District, southern Zambia, are missing classes during their menstruation due to lack of menstrual products. School head teacher Boyd Simulunda has disclosed that on average, about 50 girls miss school each week while menstruating, fearing bullying from their peers. Meanwhile, Kazungula Town Council Chairperson Mbozi Tatila has advised the girls that menstruation is not a taboo and that they should not skip classes when they have their periods. Both were speaking at a community event focused on raising awareness about menstruation for girls and women.
Many girls in rural schools struggle with inadequate menstruation services, which negatively impact their education as they often miss school during their periods. Makunga School in Kazungula District, southern Zambia, is one such institution facing this challenge.
And also, a need for clean toilets is a right, not a luxury. No girl should miss school because of the menstrual cycles. But we are saying all the girls must attend school.
Stakeholders and the government are working together to provide not only discussions on menstrual hygiene, but also the necessary products to ensure that girls can remain in school.
We thought we should consider a growing girl child by distributing sanitary towels. So today we have the disposable pads and the reusable pads. Why are we introducing the reusable pads? We thought reusable pads are more sustainable and they're very comfortable.
Kazungula Town Council Chairperson Mbozi Tatila has emphasized that menstruation is a natural process.
If you are going to stay at home because you are menstruating, you will not be a doctor. If you are going to stay at home to say it's time for me to get married because I'm now menstruating, you will not be a pilot. You have to be in school and reach your maximum potential. Anyone who is going to tell you to say you're a woman, you can only be married, is a liar.
It is hoped that the provision of these reusable sanitary towels, which can last between 3 to 5 years, girls at Makunga Secondary School will no longer miss classes because of menstruation. Gabriel Josas Mova, Diamond News, Southern Zambia.
Now, St. Joseph's Lubwe Mission in the Mansa Diocese has celebrated 120 years of faith and service with a feast at St. Joseph's Parish in Lubwe. Led by Bishop Patrick Chisanga, the event featured a symbolic boat arrival by bishops, reenacting how the first missionaries, the White Fathers, came to Lubwe in 1905. Archbishop Alec Banda urged the faithful to live out the gospel through action as the early missionaries did. Luapula Province Minister Nelson Musonda, MP Dr. Chitalu Chilufya and MP Julian Mufanki praised the church's contributions to education, health and spiritual growth in the region.
St. Joseph's Lubwe Mission in Mansa Diocese of Luapula Province has clocked 120 years of faith and service, commemorated under the theme 120 years of proclaiming Christ the hope of all peoples. The anniversary brought together hundreds in a celebration marked by song, prayer and a symbolic reenactment of the arrival of the White Fathers. In his homily, Archbishop Alec Banda urged the faithful to live out the gospel through action, drawing inspiration from the early missionaries.
They educated our people, comforted the sick, and lifted up the poor. In so doing, proclaimed your God reigns.
Bishop Patrick Chisanga, who hosted the celebration, said the feast is a time of reflection and recommitment to the mission of Christ.
It is a time of renewal of our faith. It's a time of self-examination to see where we are, if we are growing or we are going backwards.
Kasama Archbishop Ignatius Chama noted that despite the milestone, belief in witchcraft remains a concern among some Christians.
Ilelo mweba Kristiani isakamiko lyeno lileba lyakuti bushe abantu bakamona po obupusano bwa bumbi bweno nga bakatolika abakwata obumbi bwa nsakramenta n'abashakwata obubumbi.
Mansa Central MP Dr. Shitalu Chilufya shared that his key takeaway from the homily was the call to save others selflessly, guided by faith.
It is a sermon to all of us who call ourselves leaders in the political space to ensure that we continue promoting unity amongst our people and continue working together in strategizing on how to ensure our people are served, our people are uplifted out of poverty.
Of memories today, but I'm happy to learn that we were the first people to rear cattle, we were the first people to grow rice, which I've embarked on it to encourage our people to go farming, to do a lot of food security at household levels.
As Lubwe marks 120 years, it stands not just as a historical site, but as a living testament of faith, service, and community transformation. Kalumbe Kapambwe, Diamond News.
Let's take our last break. Do stay with us. The Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Gift Simonza Sialubalo, has expressed satisfaction with Sinazongwe Town Council's achievement of over 80% implementation of Constituency Development Fund CDF projects. Speaking during a monitoring tour in Sinazongwe district, the minister commended progress on projects such as the construction of a modern market that will host over 425 businesses and serve more than 1,500 traders. However, Sialubalo raised concerns about the selective implementation of the Cash for Worker program, stressing the need for transparency and inclusivity to ensure that the vulnerable community members are not left behind.
Of Local Government and Rural Development Gift Simonza Sialubalo has commended Sinazongwe Town Council for achieving over 80% implementation of Constituency Development Fund CDF projects.
This place was pathetic. Everything was happening from it. Everything that we can mention. Elka has been here. She knows where we're coming from. So far, I'm impressed with the works that have been done from the resources that we requested, looking at where we're coming from. We don't want other people to come and get what other people have fought for. Those who have been trading for quite some time and on the side. The concern that I've seen is how we should provide this dust. Dust separation is very, very important.
Yes, and that is why you've seen the basic landscaping that we are beginning.
Yeah. However, he expressed serious concerns over reports of nepotism and favoritism in the Cash for Work program, worrying that vulnerable individuals are being unfairly excluded in favor of relatives of administrators.
Sinazongwe should be the best example.
And during his tour in Sinazongwe district, Minister Sialubalo was joined by the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Namwala and Chasefu MPs, who visited the site of a modern market said to accommodate over 425 businesses and save more than 1,500 traders upon completion.
At the business types that we have provided for, it will accommodate about 425 businesses. That should be able to cater for over 1,500 people to trade. So Mount Mary filling station and all those along the road shall be accommodated within this plan.
And at the public gatherings, Deputy Speaker and the two MPs echoed calls for community unity, love and grassroots-driven development, and their presence helped celebrate the minister's appointment and reinforce communal support for collective progress.
Unselected development that is taking place in Eastern Province is also taking place elsewhere in the country. As members of Parliament, we are the luckiest in this time around. I appreciate you people for having been voting for the president.
Meanwhile, celebrations characterized in both Sinazongwe and senior chief members' chiefdoms, featuring Udima songs, to welcome and thank Minister Sialwalo for his elevation to the cabinet. Helga Chigwe, Diamond News, Sinazongwe District in Southern Province.
Now, Secretary to the Cabinet, Patrick Kangwa, has called on public service workers to serve with diligence and dedication, expressing hope that this year's Public Service Day event will motivate them to improve service delivery. Chief Government spokesperson Cornelius Mwetwa acknowledged the civil services role in national development and pledged to address gender disparities inwards given to public servants. Meanwhile, ZCTU President Blake Malala emphasized the importance of public workers in providing essential services. The commemorations were held under the theme Enhancing the Agility and Resilience of Public Institutions.
Discussions and the church services would not have been successful without the active participation of our citizens. Honorable Minister, I also thank all public service workers for their efforts in making this year's commemoration a success. I urge each and every one of you to continue serving our beloved country with integrity, diligence, and excellence.
Various stands that we have been able to visit this morning, it is self-evident that the civil service is taking our country to the next level of national development.
Public service workers in the governance and delivery of essential public service, from healthcare providers, teachers, immigration officers, agriculture extension officers, the law enforcement personnel, clerical staff in our local councils, the public workers, they form the engine that drives government policy, service implementation, and citizen engagement.
And that note brings us to the end of tonight's edition of the Diamond Newsdesk at 8. Before we go away, here's a recap of our top stories. Dozens are left homeless as houses are demolished in Lusaka's Zesco Kalundu area. Calls grow for government intervention. Public health crackdown forces a closure of 3 guest houses in Chinsali as expo preparations intensify. And the Vingston Council under fire. Local Government Service Commission slums deplorable state of Malala Health Post. Well, that's it for now from the Diamond News Desk. This has been Mutinta Chiseko. Thank you for joining us. Good night.